Hello, everybody. My name is Crumpy. Welcome back to our UCLA Dynasty series here on College Football 25. This episode is going to be the off-season, so a little bit of caretaking to do around the league and some stat keeping to do. So I'll get back. All right, so this week is relatively unimportant because things aren't decided yet. It just comes down to the finals. We got him, cool. Lennon was actually a gem. Did not get Wooten. I kind of give up on him, to be honest. Championship contenders moving up. For some reason, I got locked out of him. I just threw him on the board to see. And we have some conference championships this week. Heisman finalists. Nothing really there. All right, conference championships. Conference USA, Middle Tennessee versus Louisiana Tech. Big 12 is Kansas State versus OK State. MAC, Bowling Green versus Toledo. Sun Belt, Texas State versus Appalachian State. AAC is Tulane versus UTSA. The Mountain West is Boise State versus Utah State. SEC is Georgia versus Bama. ACC is Miami versus Boston College. And then Big 10 is Ohio State versus Michigan. One of the most hated rivalries in all of college football. And let's see who wins. Probably should have done some recruiting stuff, shouldn't I? Yeah, that's my B. Forgot to take a look. Not that it really matters. They're kind of leftovers at the moment, and the offense has gone down, which means I'm assuming some people graduated this week. I don't really care about these guys. Was Flanagan the 4-star? I might have cared about that. Your 2024 Heisman Trophy winner, Will Howard, 31 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, the senior quarterback out of Ohio State. Might get taken in the later rounds, and we have a bowl game. Okay, the Las Vegas Bowl against West Virginia. Don't really know if I should really play that one. And looks like we have... Ooh, the conference week was probably my opportunity to fire some people, right? Yeah, unfortunately missed out on that one. Miami is number 1 now. Heisman winner was Will Howard, Carson Beck at 2, Cam Ward at 3, Jalen Milroe fell out, and then Kyron Drones for Virginia Tech. All right, I'll take a look at the award winners and All-Americans in a second, but the college football playoff bracket. So at 1, we have Miami. They will play the winner of Boston College versus Virginia Tech. Then at 2, we have Michigan, who will face the winner of USC Oregon. That is a Big Ten typhoon, whatever. Georgia will play the winner of Bama Notre Dame. And then Kansas State will play the winner of Ohio State and Appalachian State. Very interesting formatting. I'm assuming this gives Ohio State the easiest route to the playoffs, or towards the semifinal. Maybe, I don't know. They won't get the bye. As for award winners, Cam Ward is your player of the year. Carson Beck came at 2, and then as follows. Head coach of the year, Rick Cavanagh for Miami. Best quarterback was Cam Ward. Best defensive player, Jordan Birch, defensive end for Oregon. Saw him a lot earlier in the year. Harold Perkins came in at 2. Best defensive back, Daryl Porter Jr. Surprise, Will Johnson is all the way at 8. Best running back, Donovan Edwards, of course, although he is injured. Best receiver, Tedaro McMillan out of Arizona. He is a top 5 player in the draft. The Lombardi Award went to Jordan Birch. Jackson State and Hawaii players on here. The Unitas Golden Arm goes to Cam Ward. Best defensive end, Jordan Birch. Best interior lineman, Tate Ratledge out of Georgia. Clay Webb is actually a very good player for Jacksonville State. Best tight end went to Oscar Delp. The Broyles Award, the assistant coach went to Miami. Their OC and DC came in at 1 and 2. JoJo Wood, Andy Pock, Nick Lair. Funny names. Best linebacker went to Harold Perkins. Best center, Jonah Monaheim. Thankfully, we won't see him next year. The Lou Rosa Award for kicker went to Derek McCormick out of Indiana. Best punter went to Riley Rethman out of Navy. Best returner, Raleek Brown out of Arizona State. And that is it for the awards. So as for the bowl matchups, kind of whatever. We're playing West Virginia. Not too interested in that. North Texas Cal. And then Clemson, OK State. Texas playing UCF in the Texas Bowl. And then those are all decided. Those are college football playoffs. And then so bowl week 1 of 4. Let's actually look at these scores and schedules. So Appalachian State and Ohio State, round 1 of the college football playoff. And then the Las Vegas Bowl. I'm not too interested in playing ours, to be honest. Got some XP for that first year. Sturdivant still wants to transfer, which is unfortunate. Maybe we'll be able to convince him. And we won the Las Vegas Bowl, actually. That is funny. All right, and then as for scores and schedules of last week. So, Utah State beat Iowa. Texas State beat Tulane. NC State beat UTSA. Ohio State beat Appalachian State by 3 in the college football playoffs. That is crazy. Virginia Tech blew out Boston College. We beat West Virginia 24-16. Bama beat Notre Dame 48-35. And then USC upset Oregon 33-23. And then North Texas beat Cal. Crazy. I don't know why they do so good in the sim. And then OK State beat Clemson 36-33. Texas beat UCF 35-20. And then UNC beat Liberty. Interesting enough. And then Hawaii beat Colorado. I'm here for it. So the next round of college football playoffs is going to be Kansas State and Ohio State, Miami and Virginia Tech, Georgia and Bama, and then USC and Michigan. Michigan just beat USC in real life. So that will be interesting. I also forgot to look at All-Americans, so I'm going to go do so now. Jalen Milroe, Donovan Edwards, Ollie Gordon, Tedero McMillan, Javon Ivory out of South Alabama. Why is he here? What? Chris Bell out of Louisville. Brant Kuth, Utah. Will Campbell, Clay Webb, Jonah Monaheim, whatever. Tate Ratledge, and then Jonah. Not even going to try that. James Pierce, Ashton Gillett, Mason Graham, Walter Nolan, Mikael Williams, Jay Higgins, Barrett Carter, Will Johnson, Benjamin Morrison, Caleb Downs, Jonas Senker, Graham Nicholson, and Max Fletcher. Second team is as follows. The freshman team is as follows. All right, and then Big Ten, I Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get anybody. Second team, no one. Freshman, no one. Makes sense. I'm not interested in the job offers. We are UCLA or bust. Moving on to next week. Can't really do anything with the recruits at the moment. All right, scores and schedules. All right, Ohio State beat Kansas State 55-17. Then Miami beat Virginia Tech 37-31. Georgia beat Bama 38-24. And then USC beat Michigan 31-7. So the 10 seed is moving on to the semifinals. Interesting enough. And now we have Georgia versus USC and Ohio State versus Miami. All right, Curtis Exum has gone to Utah. I just put him on the board to, I don't know, have fun with that. And then Troutman, okay. Nothing I can really do about those decisions. And Ohio State and Georgia, who'd have thought? All right, let's see what the scores were. So Georgia beat USC 34-31. So our rival put up a very good fight. And then Ohio State 35-21 to Miami. So upgrading the coaching tree. I kind of want to put some into tactician. Just because we haven't done anything with that tree. Let's see. I want O-line ratings. Now, we did win 4 top 25 games this past season, which is insane to think about. I don't know what cross-training is going to do. Yeah. Tell you what, I'll put that last 10 back into the recruiter. 2 top 5 recruiting classes. Okay. Tell you what, that, and then that. So, Georgia versus Ohio State. Was that the matchup from last year? Might have been. All right, so end of year adjustments to our team rating. Pro potential went to a C+. Not a lot of players are going to the NFL off of this team. Coach stability went to a B-. Coach prestige went to a B-. And Georgia won 49-28 against Ohio State. Well, congrats, Georgia fans. You did it again. And then the final top 25 I'll take a look at. I just don't think there's... Yeah, I don't think there's any new awards here. The final top 25. Georgia at 1, Ohio State at 2, Miami, Michigan, Notre Dame, USC, Kansas State, Boston College, Virginia Tech, and NC State. And then as follows. Bama, Texas, not in the top 10. Oh, Colorado. Ugh. A lot of their talent's going to the NFL. End of season recap. So looking at the final of our team schedule. Again, sort of lackluster at times. You know, here and there. Conference standings, we came in way down the board. Actually, we came in at 5th, 7 and 6. Our conference rating was 5 and 4, so we did very well in our own conference. So maybe if we can build a competitive roster, who knows? We'll have to see what our schedule is like next year. And that is kind of it for now. I don't think there's anything to keep track of other than moving on to next week, seeing what our transfers are and graduate players. All right, players leaving. Sturdivant, persuasion chance is very high. All right. Convince Sturdivant not to go to the draft. How many of these do I get? 8? Well, I'm just going to use all of them then. Failed. Success. Failed. Come on, Schroller. Damn. Bedwetter. Success. All right, Garber's graduated. Holstead graduated. Wallace graduated. Toya graduated. Atsemalala. Smith graduated. Loya graduated. Carlin graduated. Like, this guy was supposed to be good, but he got his ass kicked every single down. And then we have Joseph Vaughn, Oladejo, Addison, Madrano, Kirkwood, Keegan Jones. These are big names all going to the, the workforce. Really what it is. USC had Monaheim go round 1. Maybe go round 1. I'll take a look at the actual draft results in a minute. All right, we convinced Sturdivant to stay. Now we have to convince him not to get to the transfer portal. All right, I am locked out on all these guys because their deal breakers got crushed. Good news is this opens up room for the transfer portal. So, all right, you can go way down here. Lennon did end up being a gem. I did scout him. And really kind of some scrubs here. So looking at the transfer portal, Keanu Tanuvasa wants to come here, 4-star defensive tackle. Now, I am down for these players. Really need some more, or, well, just help for the defense, really. Strong safety. This is just recommended, isn't it? They're actually, wow, a quarterback wants to come here? I'll give him a shot. Why not? All right. Next 3-star, Ross. Man-to-man corner, Chris Johnson out of San Diego State. Or a center. Also out of San Jose State, actually. Tell you what. Johnson. I'll give those guys a scout. But first, let's take a look at the top transfer players. So, Ben Gulbranson, quarterback of Oregon State, is transferring. Actually, I should just sort it by ratings. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State, is transferring. Ben Roberts out of Texas Tech is transferring. Le'Veon Moss out of Texas A&M. Chandler Martin. Actually, there we go. All right, Emory Jones out of LSU. Matthew McDoom out of Coastal Carolina. Darius Taylor out of Minnesota. David Bailey out of Stanford. Branson Hickman out of OU. Let's see. Matthew Golden out of Texas. Georgia Southern players here. Wow. Trying to think of any. Trying to find any good. Really good players. So I guess Jalen Milroe went to the draft. I probably got to look at the draft results. Aiden Chills is here. I'll probably document some of these guys. Draft results. Let's see. UCLA, no data. All right, USC, Monheim went round 1. Basically, just going to click through these until I see round 1 players. All right, Jalen Milroe did go round 1, as well as Malachi Moore. Brailsford went round 2, and Lawson went round 3. 4 players from Bama went through in the draft is kind of low for them. All right, Tedero McMillan went round 1, as well as Takario Davis. Ashton Genty, round 1. Possible real-life Heisman winner. Jaden Ott, round 2 out of Cal. Luke Kandra, round 2. Barrett Carter, round 1, outside linebacker. Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter both went round 1. Of course they did. Torrey Horton went round 2. All right, a couple players went to the draft. I'm assuming that means that their quarterback, Uga Wutzits, is graduated. He didn't get drafted. Georgia had 4 first-round picks. Carson Beck, Tate Ratledge, Mikael Williams, and then Malachi Starks. And then Fairchild went round 2. Don't really know how much I'm committing to this. Iowa had 2 first-round picks, Jay Higgins and Sebastian Castro. All right. Deone Walker for Kentucky. Yeah, that was Kentucky. Quincy Riley for Louisville. And then, of course, standout tackle Will Campbell going round 1. Michigan, of course, had 3 first-rounders. Will Johnson, Mason Graham, and Colston Loveland. Loveland is really, if you consider him the top tight end on the board, Mason Graham and Will Johnson are both more than likely top 10 picks as it stands right now. And then Kenneth Grant and then Donovan Edwards going round 3. That could be because he's injured. And then Minnesota's left tackle, Ursery, went round 1. Mizzou, Luther Burden. Yeah, that one really makes sense. Let's see. Quite a ways to go before we get all the way over to UCLA. Notre Dame, Benjamin Morrison, round 1, and then Xavier Watts. Ohio State had Quinshawn Judkins actually go round 1, and then Emeka Ibuka. Trayvon Henderson. They run a 2-back system, kind of. Danny Stutzman go round 1. Ollie Gordon went round 1. Walter Nolan went round 1. Dylan Gabriel went round 1. And I think that's probably going to do it. Yeah, I think Tennessee, James Pierce went round 1. Quinn Ewers went round 1. Isaiah Bond went round 4. Where's Kelvin Banks? Did he not get drafted? Or not go to the draft? I think, yeah. All right, we're back at UCLA. All right. And then transfer portal. I have a couple guys added to the board. Let me do this real quick. All right, so we have Keanu Tenuvasa at the top of our board. He is a transfer out of Utah. And then we have Terrell Hatchett, who is a 3-star athlete, tight end, the high schooler with a gem, as well as Trevor Freeman, a 3-star high schooler who is an athlete who is a gem. And then after that goes to Gabriel Lightfoot, a 3-star defensive tackle out of Fresno State. Zabian Brown out of Alabama. Ben Gulbranson out of Oregon State. And then Chambers, Hunter, and Johnson are all out of San Diego State. And then Jordan Pollard is out of San Jose State. And after that, it's just the remaining of our recruiting class. Okay, moving over to the spreadsheet. Link for that is going to be in the description. We have our recruiting class for this year. These are all the players we currently have signed. Maka Trueblood, the 5-star defensive tackle out of Hawaii, leading the board. The green denotes that they were a gem. I will put their dev trade in here after next year has begun. Our current transfer class, if we don't end up getting these guys, I'll just delete them. But I just went ahead and put them there because I had time. The national top 50 of the current class, which some players like Lester Roldan have not or committed to a team yet. But as you can see, there are a lot of Notre Dame players. And including the national transfer class, Caleb Downs, Emory Jones, they're all here. I do have the top quarterback class for the high school class, and Logan Seats to Stanford, Chadwick to Washington. And then also I wanted to point out that that is there. DeMarco Stoneburner, I think I threw an extra R there. And then Adrian Stoneburner are both 4-star a quarterback and a receiver. And they're both going to Texas. So the dynamic brother duo going into Texas. That one is a very fun storyline. And then Notre Dame has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 5-star players. They have had an insane recruiting class. So I haven't finished this because it's not done yet, but I wanted to put Notre Dame here. They have 9 5-stars, 14 4-stars, and 3 3-stars. And then the remaining of the class is Georgia, Oregon at 2 and 3 for the top classes. But, I mean, Notre Dame, that's the best class I've ever seen. So that is really it for the spreadsheet. I'll finish awards and stuff later on, but that is it for now. All right, so I think we are ready to start simming to next week. Just see who we get. And we have Devontae Azuma out of San Diego. Bryce Scioli out of Redlands. And then everyone else is moving into 1. Sturdivant is still at risk of a transfer, but if he's not in the transfer portal now, I don't think he will be. Kind of got saved by him moving into trying to go to the NFL. So that is cool. All right, I am going to send the hard sell. I shouldn't really have to do much else with him. All right, that should be good. Lightfoot, Brown, Gulbranson. Maybe we have too many quarterbacks in this current class, but that's all right. Pollard, we can actually get more hours on, as well as schedule a visit. I don't really need Osika now. In all honesty, Azuma is a 3-star scrambler. But if we can get Freeman, we might not need him. So unfortunately, one member of our board might be just filler because we have 4 quarterbacks. So yeah, I don't need Osika. So I will just take him off. And then, yeah, I think we're pretty much good on everything else. I'll just do some hard sells, get these guys to round out. Okay, didn't have anybody else, or, well, any more. Well, we had the hours, just didn't have anybody to allocate them to. And we got Trevor Freeman, as well as Charles Hearns, a 3-star center. And then everyone else is moving along nicely. Now, Keanu Vasa, Tanu Vasa. that is going to need a hard sell. Luckily, defensively, we have a lot of the motivations. All right, 1, 2, fudge. Crap. Tell you what, we'll just do this. We'll keep him on 65 hours. We got the visit in. Got Freeman down there. That should be fine. Lightfoot we can send in on a hard sell. All right, so we have Tanu Vasa. I know I keep cutting it short. That's because I lose my train of thought while I'm trying to do the recruiting. But we got Tanu Vasa. Hopefully we can get him done with. Lightfoot. Can we schedule it for the week we're at? Also, Oregon keeps like coming in on our recruits, and like specifically linebackers. Whenever we do linebackers, they're always like, "Hey, what you doing? You want to come to play for us?" And it's getting a little old, but it's fine. We have, this is just year 1. I'm not expecting much in the way of recruiting. Although I am fairly blown out of the water with our current class. Alright, so everyone is literally maxed out with visits and stuff. And, yeah, let's go to week 4. Hopefully the players have committed across the board. And we did get Tanu Vasa. That is big. As well as Lightfoot. As well as Brown. Goldbranson. Chambliss. And then Pollard committed to Oregon. So that is great. So I will take him off of the spreadsheet. And Oregon is, I don't know. All right, Tanu Vasa, Lightfoot, Pollard can get out of here. Goldbranson, Brown might have a bit of a quarterback battle. That's always nice. I mean, we got Freeman, who's a scrambler, so that's going to be great for like read options and stuff. And then we also have Davis, the in the back. So that's cool. Let's do there. Okay, down to our last couple recruits for the transfer portal. And we did get Hatchet. Got Gusta. Got Josh Hunter. That was just a 2-star added for depth. And Chris Johnson ended up going to Cal, unfortunately. Got a lot of XP for the finale of the season. And we have position changes. So, Corliss went to San Diego State. And that's really it. Well, Johnson also went to Cal, which we came in second. That's unfortunate, but a lot of players. All right. So the only players from the top 50 I'm missing on my spreadsheet are Wesovich, who went to Arizona. That's in the Big 12. And then Tony Stone, who's ranked 44, the right guard, went to Washington. That is in the Big 10. So, and then as for the transfer portal, did have a lot of players on here. Let's see. So Caleb Downs, a lot of players went to Georgia, by the way. Caleb Downs went to Georgia. Emory Jones went to Tulane. Going from LSU to Tulane is a bit of an odd one, as I'm forgetting which conference they're in. I think it's, yeah, it is American. Okay, I was about to say. McDoom went to Georgia. Darius Taylor went to Michigan, so he's replacing Donovan Edwards. Bailey went to Oregon. Jamal Haynes went to Florida State, ACC. So it went from Georgia Tech to Florida State. That's hilarious. Branson Hickman went from OU to Texas, so, and as well as Stout. That is actually very interesting. Western Kentucky to Texas. Kansas State, that is out of the Big 12. And then Jeremiah Cooper also went to Texas. Texas made a comeback on the transfer portal. Ransom went to Georgia. Jalen White went to Auburn. Kamari Wilson went to Clemson. Roman Hemby went to Notre Dame if they didn't already need enough talent. So, yeah, Georgia has 4 of the top 16. They're in at number 16 on the recruiting class. And then Le'Veon Moss, Ben Roberts, and Jalen Braxton all go to Bama. Caden Jenkins transferring to OU from Baylor. Moss is going to USC. Okay, and then that is kind of it. Embo, I need you. Basically just filling out the rest of my big board. Robinson went to Clemson. So, yeah, let me finish this, and I'll be right back. All right, so here we are at the National Signing Day. At the end of the year, everyone has more or less signed. I did remove 2 people from the board and add these 2 guys. I don't know if this means they'll automatically sign or if I'm going to break the game or they're just going to sit here. I don't know. So that is it for the class. We ended up ranking not as high as I thought or wanted. We ended up ranking 27th. We had 33 total recruits, 1 5-star, 4 4-stars, 25 3-stars, 3 2-stars, and 0 1-stars. And we ended up with 200.55 points. And I will go over the board with you in a bit because the spreadsheet is very detailed. I just have to figure out where David Gusta came from. You came from Washington State. So a lot of our transfers are from Oregon State, San Diego State, Washington State, and Fresno State, as well as Utah. Well, I'm just basically listing individuals now, but basically a lot of them are from that Mountain West Conference, just jumping ship, maybe. Because San Diego State, Fresno State, Colorado State, and Boise State, I believe those are the ones. They're all moving to the Pac-12, and then 2 of our transfers are from the Pac-12. So I guess they're just wanting a more prestigious conference, and I guess we're their entry. So going over the top classes, Notre Dame came in at number 1 with a whopping 272 points, 9 5-stars, 17 4-stars, and 5 3-stars. Georgia came in at second at 247 points, as well as, I guess, their transfer class played a big role in them jumping up. Bama came in at 3. Their transfer class played big as well. Oregon came in at 4, and I feel like if we didn't have to compete with Oregon, our class would have been a hell of a lot stronger. They did get the number 1 player in the class, Devontae Brock. Daryl Hewitt, we were in on, but eventually I think we ended up not meeting his deal breaker. Isaiah World, we were in on. J. Michael Wolf, we were in on. Jordan Pollard, we were in on. Chisholm, Chisholm, we were in on. That was a transfer. Johnstone, we were in on. Souza, we were in on. Roos, we were in on. Like, a lot of these guys we were in on, and we just had to compete with Oregon, and we really couldn't. I mean, they are ranked number 4 for a reason. And hey, we beat them during the regular season this past year. So maybe that will help sprucing things up. And then as for position changes, I really don't know. So DeMarcus Davis might actually be someone we look at for our starting job. We do have the overalls of the players here. I don't know where that cuts off. We do have a lack of running backs, so we are going to have to take a look and see who we can move. Change of direction. Where's ball carrier vision? Okay, you might be it. A 73 overall receiving back, 6'2". You don't really have the weight for it at all. But we really do need a receiving back. I don't know. I don't really know what to do with that. We signed some... Well, okay, so the transfer players are in here, but the recruiting class is not. So... trying to think. Well, actually, no. Some of them are here, like Lennon and Middlebrooks. They're here. That's weird. Knighton. Karapates is a 75. That's pretty big. DeGiorgio, Ishampong. I don't really think we'll be moving around that much. Trueblood's a 79. Edwards. Honestly, we could just move people up the middle and then just rock with like a nickel scheme. Either way, I don't think we're going to be changing anyone's position. We don't really have athletes like that. And, yeah, I think we're ready to move on. All right, so we have training results now. This is very important. And we do have some jumps. Okay, let's start top to bottom. Justin Martin might actually have won the quarterback job. He has an 81 overall. I'm wondering where... Did it just straight up cut quarterbacks from my roster? Like, where are the transfers? Harden's up to an 88. Leagueberg's up to an 81. Carlson's up to a 78. Those are both good. Kemp's up to a 79. Sturdivant's up to a 91. Pegan's up to an 80. Staples up to 79. Flores is up to a 78. That's a fairly decent receiving core for now. Montevea's up to an 85. Peterson's up to an 80. That's great. Knighton's up to an 82. Pilali is up to an 83. Yoon is up to an 80. Walker's up to a 79. DeGiorgio's up to a 70 or an 83. Thorpe Taylor's up to a 78. Grant and Bucky actually jumped Ashampong. Busic's up to an 80. Williams is up to an 82. Fuimano is up to an 80. I'm not seeing any transfer players. Also, that's good. 77, 79, 77, 85, 81, 76. And also, Jameer Benjamin, 99 speed, 99 excel. This has to be a real player. Because he's redshirted. But he is fast. Really needs to work on his zone coverage, though. But he is very fast. As well as Kanye Clark. Like, right up there. RJ Jones up to a 78. And then Pellet is up to a 78. Interesting. Trying to think. I don't want to go through the whole list. Singleton, 98. CJ Baxter's up to a 95. Oh, Kevin Banks didn't go to the draft. Harold Perkins. Abdul Carter didn't go to the draft. Very interesting. Avery Johnson's up to a 93. Let's actually take a look at Texas. Because I just want to look at Arch Manning, to be honest. Arch is up to a 89. All right. Well, let's go ahead and just move on. Around about the end of the episode here. And this is the end of the offseason. Let's see, we don't need to encourage any transfers. But we have a shitload of quarterbacks, that's for sure. Yeah, we don't need to. Where's a 60? These guys are 2 stars. Azuma is not great. Like, Azuma was a 3-star, and he's worse than this 2-star. Is there anyone I'm surprised by? Trevor Freeman, yeah. These guys are multiple years out. And custom conferences. I think I'm going to wait a year on moving Boise State and Friends out of the Mountain West, because that is the, what the actual, they think the move is happening in 2026. I know a lot of college teams will move a year early, but that's fine. All right. Oh, pro potential Maka Trueblood is already a risk of a transfer. All right. Why does it say that we're good with that? Okay, that's weird. A lot of interesting players. Got to get back to that later. All right. So that is it for this one. That is the end of Season 1 and the off-season episode. Kind of a very long one, but hopefully next season is a lot more memorable than this one. I'll take a look at the custom schedule. I might move it around. We'll have to see. But that is going to do it for this one. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.